Welcome back. Thank you for staying with Newsline. That's the latest in business and wilder sports. Let's shift focus back to the top story of the day, all to do with the issues beleaguering the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Rigathi Gachagua, in an unprecedented move, the first since the promulgation of the 2010 Constitution. The Deputy President is facing impeachment. It's a lengthy political process, and we just want to get the crux of the matter. That's why I'm joined by two learned gentlemen in studio, Dr. Barak Muluka, political scientist. Asante sana for your patience, and Dr. Martin Olo as well, political analyst. Asante sana for your patience as well. Before the break, we were just evaluating the reaction in the mountain, and I'd like to begin with you, Dr. Barak Muluka, because earlier on he mentioned that, of course, it was a mistake for Mount Kenya region to join UDA and the Kenya Kwanza administration without a political vehicle, because we well know that political parties in Kenya are simply special purpose vehicles. So now that the DP claims that Kenyans voted for President William Ruto due to his persuasion, especially in the Mount Kenya region, remove Deputy Gachagua from the equation, how will it affect the 2027 politics?
You see, first, you cannot really remove him from the equation. He will remain part of the equation. Whether he is impeached or he's not impeached, he remains part of the equation, only that the formations change. Now, Rigathi Gachagua, from what we have seen, is not the kind of person who is going to be impeached and then he goes home and keeps quiet and he says that was that game and that space in which we were. He has been spoiling for a fight, and you can see in his quite boisterous nature, sometimes exhibiting absence of what you may want to call emotional intelligence. He has been on the stumps. He has been moving from post to pillar and pillar to post, just beginning the warm-up. So he's going to be there. He's going to be a factor. In fact, one of the things that we are likely to see coming into the formation could be a bit of tension between one end of the mountain and the other end of the mountain. These are things which are being downplayed just now. But it is true that there is, or there are such entities as Mount Kenya East and Mount Kenya West, and that that was part of the consideration by President, then Deputy President William Ruto, as he settled for Rigiji as his running mate. Not to mention, of course, the ability to bankroll the election campaign at that time. The bankrolling is now no longer an issue because without a doubt, the things which they accuse Rigiji of having done, like becoming immensely wealthy within a very short period, they have all become that. And so the funds to bankroll the campaign will be there. But there are emotional issues which you cannot push away and which are going to be prosecuted with that, within that region. As Dr. Martin Olo here says, that these are special purpose vehicles and you better get there with your own. It's like going to a dog market and you are used to being on a fish market or a chicken market, and you try to play on that market using the rules of the chicken market. That is what the mountain and people like Rigiji did. They should have known all the time that they were on a dog market. Now he's going to go back to the region, and the narrative is likely to be something like those who preceded us, those who went ahead of us, cautioned us against the folly of thinking that we could blindly rally behind other people. In fact, we had bound ourselves in the manner of speaking through even oathing that we would never support anybody else. See where this has left us. So the game is just beginning. If anyone thinks that the game is ending, it has just begun, and it doesn't matter whether Rigiji gets impeached or not. You have shown him the knife, and you have shown the mountain the knife. They are in a place of state of shock, and they'll get out of that space galvanized. Okay. And sometimes I tend to be a little daring and say things like, put this down in your notebook. We will talk about it again.
Interesting. I remember what the Deputy President's ally said, the mountain forgives, but it doesn't forget, you know. So what's your take on this DP's president position? Is it a poison chalice? Are you damned if you do, damned if you don't? As he mentioned earlier, did the drafters of the 2010 Constitution envision such a scenario where time and time again, the DP finds himself on the receiving end, irrespective of who's occupying the position?
I think one thing you can say is that with the Constitution of Kenya 2010, at least there is a way in which you can remove the Deputy President. Under Article 149 of the Constitution and the process of impeachment in Article 150 of the Constitution. And it stipulates the offenses or the reasons behind it. And it gives a period around which that can be done. So there's some sanity. It's not like the days of Moi, you go on the road and you say, from today, so-and-so is no longer the deputy, or from tomorrow, so-and-so is back as the vice president. So at least we have
1 o'clock news.
Yeah, 1 o'clock news. There's sanity around it, and there is some sanctity around it, a protective clothing around it. Having said that, and just pitching it up, taking it up from where Dr. Muluka is speaking, we are in the right territories. The impeachment charges for the deputy president is a very clear symptom of the kettle calling the pot black. So we haven't had it. And in any case, who told you that corruption and get rich fast are issues in this country, and that morals and integrity are important? No. So if you accuse Rigathi of the same, soon you will see what the other the impeachment censure motion is going to do. It will also raise the issues. If you're looking at scandals, they're there. In fact, you should then tell the entire government to pack and go. Whether it's SHIF, where this social health insurance is a scam, the 105 billion is a scam.
Is a scam.
Whether it's Adani, is a scam. So whatever you want to point out, we are just dealing with scandals. We are in a school of scandal. And we seem to love it. And you see, we must tell Kenyans that we love playing with the pigs. The only problem is the pigs are okay. They're dirty and they're okay. So when we go in there, we also get dirty. So this is symptomatic. What Gachagua is going through, any of these politicians will go through. Will it make him any less, any weaker? No. It will strengthen him. How did the president make his name? It is because he was of sympathy. It was said he was being, ignored after he had helped President Uhuru and so on.
Okay.
So have we made a hero out of Gachagua? Absolutely, yes.
Interesting. Never underestimate the politics of sympathy. Looking into the political lens as we finalize with this conversation, is it a double-edged sword? What's the blowback going to be like from where you sit?
Yes, it is a double-edged sword, but allow me to preface that with the thought that what is happening has got both positive and negatives.
Okay.
The positive side to this whole thing is that the Constitution is being tested. The fundamentals of the pillars of the Constitution of Kenya 2010 are increasingly being tested. And they have been tested before, and they have been found to be very strong. We have impeached governors, we have impeached deputy governors. When there was no cause to impeach them, we did not impeach them. We have annulled a presidential election. We seem to be about to impeach deputy president. And one day, we are going to impeach the president. It does not have to be the present president, or the next one, but the fundamentals of the pillars of the Constitution are being found to be very firm, to be very strong, and therefore we are gravitating into space where the politics are not going to threaten the law. It's not going to matter who you are or how powerful you imagine you are. The law is going to have its sway and its way. And that, I think, is where we are going politically as a country. The country will stand on one leg, which is the legal leg, and it will stand on another leg, which is the political leg. The passions, the emotions are going to be there, certainly. And for President William Ruto, Kenya Kwanza, the game is just beginning. You cannot even be sure of what the ODM brigade within that space is thinking. And the ODM soldiers and lieutenants and their commander-in-chief are very good when it comes to entering that space and then causing it to implode.
Okay.
What happens after you have removed Rigiji and the mountain is disaffected? Is that a good opportunity for ODM to do its next thing? You've listened to Oparanya. You've heard him say he's going to put on certain kinds of attire, certain kinds of things, which I'll not mention here because they are unmentionable on family TV.
Yes.
But it's not going to be productive. Is he speaking to somebody? Is he a sounding board? Is he echoing someone? So the political space, the real reggae, is just about to begin.
Interesting. Allow me to quote the current speaker. It will be noisy, messy, and there will be casualties. So, Law, as we finalize, I'm reminded of the words of the president. I will never allow my deputy president to be humiliated by junior staff. Will these words come back to haunt the president in any way, shape, or form, regardless of how this plays out?
Absolutely not.
Interesting.
Absolutely not. He has no regrets. It was okay to say it then. It's okay for him to deny it now. And that is our way. So he's not, you can't hold him for what he said then.
No.
He'll tell you, see, you know, I'd suffered and therefore I did not want them somebody. But I've also suffered now that I'm in this seat. So I have now realized that what I said then was not correct. It's not about principles. It's about convenience.
Okay.
It's about speaking the right things to the people at the right time.
Yeah.
So when you are campaigning and when you are, you know, you must be seen to be saying the right things. You must be seen
For the moment.
For the moment. You must be empathetic. If you want to find out what that other guy called DJT is in the guy of eating dogs. So you tell your base what they want to hear. Yeah, so that your base is solidified and it's solidly behind you. So for Ruto, he needed the mountain. So he needed to assure the mountain. But one thing that is true, as we speak here, that will be true even in 2027, is that we live in a politics of betrayal. This marriage between them and ODM is short-lived. It's short-lived. It is going to come to a point where it will implode, and Barack has just talked about it. So we are here to come back and say, wait, this is the text we are used to. People betraying each other, people coming with the political knives into political conversations, and that is us. So we must accept that casualties fall by the wayside and the country continues to suffer. No wonder 60 years down the line, we are still talking basic things. Look at health, the way we are running health. It is in shambles. I mean, NHIF was much better than this thing that we now have. And yet you are telling us that this thing is universal. Which universal?
And which we are not talking about.
We are not talking about that.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so that's for another day.
Asante sana. A day in politics is a lifetime. So we'll definitely see how the cookie crumbles, and trust us as members of the Fourth Estate to keep our viewers updated. Thank you so much for your sober analysis, Dr. Barak Muluka, Dr. Martin Olo. It seems I need to do my master's and doctorate. Anyway,
Please,
definitely.
come.
I'll be joining you guys.
We've just been talking about a PhD program. That's what I was working on with my Vice Chancellor at this. So come.
Oh,
we have
the
stuff.
sky's the limit. Clearly, asanteni sana for your indulgence. Let's take a look at matters